Thank you. Welcome, and thank you all for joining us for our exciting product webinar today that is 3 ways to maximize in-house leadership development. My name is Tracy Dobbins, and I'll be your webinar host for this session. If you're just getting to know us, the Center for Creative Leadership, also known as CCL, is a top-ranked provider of executive education globally. We work with 2/3 of the world's top 500 companies, small business and government, providing innovative solutions for the entire organization and programs proven to transform the individual. Our work is based on significant research, and we share it readily with you today in this discussion. Before our presenter begins, please know that we love participation and invite you to use the chat tool provided on the right side of your screen to ask questions or interact with the presenter. Simply direct your chat to all participants. We'll have a more formal question and answer session at the end of the webinar. And finally, look for a link to the recorded version of this session in your inbox tomorrow, with links also to webinar materials. Today, I'd like to introduce Jeff Howard. We are pleased to have Jeff with us. He is the Vice President and Managing Director, Global Licensing and Leadership Products at the Center for Creative Leadership. He'll share today how organizations are driving significant culture change to impact everyone from the front desk to the corner office. Welcome, Jeff.
Thank you, Tracy, and thank you everyone for joining the call today. Really excited to be talking with you about this. At the Center for Creative Leadership, we are passionate about leadership and leadership development. It's all we do. Many of you who may be familiar with CCL are either familiar with CCL's research, maybe you're familiar with our leadership strategy and culture work we do in our organizational transformation area, but most likely you're familiar with us from a leadership program or coaching or a 360 assessment that you've taken with CCL. What many of you may not know is that CCL has developed a number of offerings over the last 5 and 6 years designed specifically with your internal training teams and corporate universities in mind. So we call these CCL's Lead It Yourself solutions. They're solutions you can bring in-house, deploy with proper support from CCL. We're finding that there are really 2 primary ways that clients are engaging in these types of solutions. The first is they're setting them up as a standard part of their internal training and development system and catalog. They're providing courses, either open enrollment or offered into business units, but they have a catalog of offerings, a normal cadence of training that they're doing around, in our case, essential leadership skills, and they're leveraging what we're doing that way. The second way people are using these solutions are really to partner with CCL and to become an extension. So if we're working with organizations that are trying to do significant culture change, top to bottom, there's a role for everyone in that, from the C-suite and alignment, senior team alignment, organizational strategy work that we do with many clients, all the way through CCL delivery to the very bottom of the organization, where very often our clients are using their internal training resources to pull individual pieces out of those designs and cascade them all the way to the bottom of organizations. So with that introduction, I think we should go ahead and get started. Now, I know this was billed as a product webinar, and I could certainly show you a series of very traditional product slides with features and benefits, but I'm not going to do that today. What I'm going to do is try to make it a little more real. I'm going to discuss 3 major challenges that clients came to us with over the last few years and how we've addressed them. And I'm going to tell it in the form of stories of real clients in the world who are dealing with these issues and what we've done with them and how we've succeeded together. So with that, I think I'm going to jump right into our first client challenge. All right. So client challenge number 1 is one that we get a great deal. There are a lot of people in organizations, a lot of people who are reaching and striving for leadership development, and a lot of us who are in the field and who have this experience really wish we had been exposed to core leadership earlier in our careers and some of those things that have been sometimes reserved for senior leaders. But there's a lot of people to develop, and we needed to have solutions. They needed to have solutions that were large scale. They wanted to be able to cascade those essential leadership skills all the way through the organization, down into the lower levels in particular, but they wanted to do it in a way that was affordable and practical and relevant to those leader levels. Third, part of this challenge, they wanted to leverage their internal trainers. There are so many people inside organizations who are training, who are deploying programs, who are focused on bringing that to leaders, either in high potential pools or in support of first-time managers. And then finally, they want to have these kinds of turnkey solutions. They also want the support to be there when it's needed. So this is a challenge we kept hearing a lot about. And so if we take that and set it aside, we're going to jump into a case study, and let's go to one of our client success stories. I'm going to start with Walmart. So as many of you know, Walmart is a tremendously a huge organization. And they came to us with a very unique challenge. So first they had decided what their 4 strategic themes were going to be. And they wanted for us to develop some curriculum for them. They wanted to know what we had to cascade leadership development around those 4 themes to 4 different leader levels in their organization. Their target population was a staggering 35,000 to 45,000 people over a few years. And so they knew they needed to have some way to cascade that out. Train the trainer options and embedding the programs into their corporate university was going to be a big part of that solution. So what we ended up doing with Walmart is we developed a custom licensed curriculum for them around the 4 strategic themes, and each leader level was adjusted for relevance to that leader level. So they were all learning similar things, but we made it relevant for the leader level that we were targeting. And that was what Walmart needed. And then we did a major cascade out globally. And Walmart did a tremendous amount of this work and heavy lifting within their organization. So we did train the trainer, we brought people up, we did master trainers, and then we cascaded it globally. We are still a little short of the 35 to 45, but right now we're seeing more than 25,000 people have gone through this training over the last few years. And the program continues to be in high demand now 5 years in. But that was the original challenge. The solution was a custom licensed curriculum, and in great, strong partnership with an amazing partner who has the scale to do something like this, we were able to take that out to market. Another story that we want to talk about in this same kind of challenge area is Arch Mortgage Insurance. Now, Arch is a reinsurance company that is a pretty large organization. They looked at their leaders inside and said, we have so many technical leaders who are doing all of these actuarial tables and lending and these types of things. And they wanted to bring leadership into that mix. They wanted to focus development on really critical skills, and they wanted something that was prepackaged and ease of implementation was a huge part of their selection criteria. They too wanted train the trainer to be able to take it inside and train their people, and they want the option for us to train when needed, and that's something we can do for them. Our solution for them was twofold, and now outside the custom we talked about with Walmart, we're into what we call our package solutions. So we offered them one of our programs called Lead for Success. Lead for Success is a 2-day format, and it is a phenomenal introduction to leadership development. It focuses on 4 critical skills that all leaders need to be successful. 2 of them are internal facing, self-awareness and learning agility, and 2 are manifest outside in terms of influence and communication. So Lead for Success being a 2-day program, highly experiential, but also something we can train the trainer and offer in the organization. It's been a phenomenal success for them. They also were very interested in a different prepackaged solution, what we call workshop kits. Workshop kits are 3 to 4 hour deliveries, single topic, very short, very focused on core critical leadership skills. Our workshop kits were a great option for them because the way they've implemented this is through both open enrollment within their corporate university and training department, as well as taking this out to their business units and offering to contextualize within their business units for them and deliver directly for them. They're reporting to us that they have built incredible communication and feedback skills. They have very strong program evaluations. And in fact, our main client contact there has agreed to do a video. So if you visit our website, particularly the Lead for Success area of our website, you can hear their entire story in their own words about how they've used Lead for Success in their organization very successfully. So that was the first client challenge, really about scale and cascading and leveraging those internal folks, and two real-world examples with a customized solution as well as Lead for Success and workshop kits in our prepackaged solutions. If we jump to our next client challenge, one that we hear a great deal, the need to develop, strengthen, and help support first-time leaders who are making that transition to leading people. These people are often lower levels in the organization, of course. They are geographically dispersed. They often don't have the budgets to fly people to different locations, hotel nights, meals, all those expenses that come with a lot of training and development. Our clients were telling us they needed some sort of digital solution to this challenge, something that could be dispersed across time zones. But there were so many out there that people were, even though they were deployed, they weren't using. So they needed something with proven impact, something maybe different. And so to this response, if we take that, we would jump over to one of our clients who took this challenge and really brought it to bear for us, Crowley Maritime. So they're a logistics and transportation organization that is a very large organization. And they really wanted to talk about not only new leaders, but project team leads, people who needed some fundamentals in leadership, but they wanted a completely online program. It had to cross many time zones and be available in the time zones, but they wanted them to still remain cohorted. The solution that we brought to bear for them is Frontline Leader Impact. Frontline Leader Impact is a prepackaged solution with some availability for slight customizations as well. But Frontline Leader Impact focuses on 6 core competencies. It is a program that goes over 6 weeks for 18 contact hours. You're learning from the platform, from the automation, from the videos. But the unique features of this program is they have a leadership expert inside the program asynchronously with your participants, and they are giving real-time feedback to those learners about their key leadership challenge, which is how we make it real for them in the real work. We have them pick something real that's happening, and every lesson is applied to a key leadership challenge. And they have to do a leadership development plan at the end, which is a formal way to set goals and to set a plan about improvement in the future. Both the key leadership challenge and the leadership development plan are supported by this leadership expert, which is in the platform at all times with the learners. So it doesn't matter when they're in there, even though they're in a cohort. It doesn't matter when they're in there. They can be in there at different times. But they are learning from the leadership expert and from each other through a lot of social learning, team learning, and team assignment that are all done asynchronously. So this program really met the need that we had from Crowley Maritime. And we've reported to them that their cohorts had engagement metrics of 43% higher than our average engagement metrics because the organization took the time and attention to really make this an experience that those people, that the participants could go through. And they responded with a 43% increase in engagement. Their Net Promoter Score was 68, which by all accounts is in the excellent range. And they actually agreed to submit with us, or submitted, the Brandon Hall Award, which they did earn, Crowley Maritime, so congratulations to them for their particular Brandon Hall Award, which was won for, get my notes here, the Best Unique or Innovative Leadership Development Program. So silver Brandon Hall Award for that particular program. So we were very excited for our client that it not only met their needs, and they're getting recognition for all the work that was done for that. All right. And our final challenge, client challenge that we heard over and over again is that organizations were looking for something to improve collaboration and performance, something that could help drive a culture of accountability, something that was simple but not simplistic, that was more powerful and measurable in its outcome, and something that could have a broader impact, not just on an individual or a small team, but on an entire business unit or a whole organization. And so that was a tall order. We've done a lot of work that we've developed programs over the years. And so to create something that was simple and powerful and measurable that met this particular challenge was an interesting challenge for us. So let's jump into our client success story against this particular challenge. So we're going to highlight today Notre Dame, of the many clients we have using this particular product. Notre Dame has been a tremendous partner from early on. They really wanted everything in the challenge, but they wanted to create this feedback culture. And they understood, with our help, the power that we've seen in developing productive, efficient, and effective conversations across organizations. If people are engaging with each other well and talking well and doing the things and having these really productive conversations, everything seems to get better and it creates a more collaborative work environment. They also wanted train the trainer. They wanted to have CCL support as well. So within that, our solution was better conversations every day. Again, a prepackaged solution, which is a phenomenal Kickstarter to a culture change. The format of the actual program is one day based on 4 critical leadership skills: listening, asking powerful questions, providing appropriate challenge with supportive feedback, and establishing next steps and accountability. If all 4 of those are evident throughout the organization, then you are having better conversations across your organization, and you'll get the collaboration and the performance improvements that you want to get. Notre Dame's we've been delivering in Notre Dame, they've been delivering, and we've been co-delivering. Again, back to that idea of the support of what people need, that we can do all of those different modalities. The results that they are reporting to us and that we're reporting from their feedback, they created in pretty short order a 5.9 percentage point increase in the item, my immediate manager gives me regular constructive feedback. We haven't hit the entire organization. That metric is across all the organizations. So having a 5.9 percentage point shift in their culture was pretty phenomenal. We were very pleased with that. They were also receiving great surveys on the program satisfaction, 4.45 out of 5. With the training, and that's across all CCL and their delivery as well. So they've had a phenomenal experience and continue to be a great partner with us. So if we go to the next slide, we've talked a lot about different challenges, real organizations out there who are struggling with these challenges, and how CCL has partnered with them. I'll just do a quick rundown of the actual products that we discussed today in reverse order of how we discussed them. Better conversations every day. The format is a one-day skills-based around better conversation. It is the cornerstone of many culture changes across our organization. It's been a phenomenally effective program for us. We also talked about Frontline Leader Impact. Frontline Leader Impact is an asynchronous program, no travel required. It has both a leadership expert supporting real-life challenges, social learning, and a leadership development plan. Lead for Success we talked about, which is a phenomenal introduction to leadership. There are the fundamental 4 leader competencies needed, and so Lead for Success hits on those in a highly experiential 2-day format. We mentioned workshop kits. We have 12 different topics of workshop kits. Again, in that shorter 3 to 4 hour delivery window, where workshop kits can be used to have a short, quick hit delivery or part of an open enrollment or delivery within the organization. And then finally, if the need and the style is large enough, or the challenge is large enough, a completely customized leadership program is something we can do, and then license it back to the client, to you as a client, and train the trainer and support that as well. So with that, that is the rundown of the challenges, the client stories, and the different products that we talked about. And the way that we led this was the 3 ways to maximize in-house development. One is to have tools and prepackaged solutions at the ready for your leaders that you know are high quality. Number 2 is deploy the right kind of digital at the right level. We have very high completion rates and high engagement rates with our digital because we do digital with a personal touch. And when you personalize it, people engage. And number 3 is think about culture change or having a systemic change, and not just leveraging a partner like CCL, but also leveraging that partner in conjunction with your own delivery to cascade from top of the organization to the bottom. So those are the 3 ways based on the stories and the products that we've highlighted, which are a few of the many products in our Lead It Yourself solutions that I thought we would highlight today. And with that, I think we will start with questions.
Yes, feel free to send your questions in. You can send it to all participants in the chat located on the lower right corner of your screen. And we'll start with the first question we have is, how do you ensure that our trainers are confident and prepared to deliver these solutions?
Yeah, this is a question we get a great deal. There are 3 elements to preparing trainers for delivery, and confidence is the right word. So I think that's important. The first is to have them take the course as a participant. So they need to experience it and feel what it feels like to learn and to be in that seat and on that side of the table. Number 2, we give all of our facilitators a primer in facilitation as well as adult learning techniques that we've developed over many years. So we help them understand how the participants will be receiving the information. And then number 3, we provide teach-back opportunities where facilitators would be teaching back to a master facilitator of that particular content and getting feedback, not just from CCL, but from their peers as well.
Thank you, Jeff. What kind of support does CCL provide during the implementation?
So again, we've talked a little bit about that. The kind of support that we provide, we do the train the trainer. Some of our clients tell us that they're not quite prepared to take over the full facilitation after a single train the trainer. So we want to make sure that we can take that, that we can support them further. So we'll extend train the trainer, give more practice sessions and more feedback. Some clients have asked us to do that. As well as sometimes it's co-delivery, and we've been very comfortable with doing that. So some of these products that we have, if you think your trainers are ready but they want to have someone with them, we will do co-delivery. We will do observations. We can do all of that to support you as you're building your capability inside.
Jeff from Dale, what is the ROI on the trademark programs?
Well, ROI, as you know, is a challenge for anyone to measure. There's so many factors that go into ROI. We know that we get very high likelihood to recommend scores. We get very high net promoter scores. We get high engagement, and we know that we're getting a lot of reorders from our clients. Specifically tying that back financially to a result is a bit of a challenge and a bit more complicated. So, but we know that the formats are working for us, and we know that they are that the learners are getting something. We actually, in some of our courses, particularly in our Frontline Leader Impact course, we actually ask them for pre and post measurements of behavior change based on the course. How are you doing before you took this course? How after? And we're seeing tremendous jumps in reported behavior change and use. So that's something that we've been really pleased to see.
Jeff, Michael wanted to know, how do you sell using a digital format to senior leadership who still believe that in-class training is the most effective way to teach leadership?
Actually, most of what we're doing digital is at the lower levels of organizations, at the leading self, leading others level. We do programs, blended learning programs with very senior audiences where there is an in-class experience and it's supported by digital learning as a surround. And so that's typically how we've done it. We have done senior leadership digital only and have had great success with it. We've seen that help most in our virtual instructor-led training kind of approaches, but we have had senior audiences that have had used these products to great effect. And they've also been much more open than I think some people suspect to digital online tools. They're becoming the norm so much these days that senior executives are much more open than I think a lot of us may want to give credit for.
Jeff, Shannon is asking, is Better Conversations appropriate for relationships beyond the boss-employee dyad? How does it compare to Crucial Conversations?
Yeah, Crucial Conversations is about feedback and performance, those types of things. Better Conversations Every Day is a program that's actually it's not at all limited to the employee-employer dyad, because you and I could have a better conversation as project team leads, as colleagues, as people who are working in different departments and different levels of the organization. It's more about teaching people and giving them practice on how to listen and what to listen for, on how to have that conversation, how to support people, and then how to end every conversation with next steps and accountabilities, which is something that is so often forgotten. We talked about that. People will report, we talked about that. I just assumed they were going to go do something with it. And that skill of establishing next steps and accountabilities at the end of a conversation is one of the more powerful parts of the program.
Jeff, how do you cope with the time zone differences across geographies?
For face-to-face, which most of the workshop kits Lead for Success and Better Conversations are, we do those locally, and our clients fan out and do that locally. For Frontline Leader Impact, the asynchronous nature of it allows for that. It's about 3 hours a week in general for that particular course, and we can custom design something that works differently. But that particular course is about 3 hours a week. It doesn't matter which 3 hours you're in. You will contribute to the system and learn something and give feedback into the system or do an assignment. You'll get, within 24 hours, you'll receive back feedback, not only from peers and classmates in the social, but also from your moderator and your leadership expert that's in with you. And so time zones in that scenario actually don't matter. And the only limitation that we have is language. As long as you speak English, we do that, and we are moving into different languages with that. And so we're going to start breaking that barrier down as well.
Last question that we have time for, I think it's got several questions in from Brad. Do the fees for training the trainer vary by program? What are those fees, and can in-house trainers be trained remotely, or is it an on-site training at CCL required?
The training does vary by product because of the length of the product. So if you think about, generally speaking, you take the course, so that's 1 or 2 days. You then have some time where you're working on the licensing adult learning, and then the teach back is 1 day per day. So each one of those training each time we're training up internals, there is a certain number of days required to do that. We don't do that remotely. We will come to the client site, or we will go to, you can come, people are always welcome to come to the center as well. So that's the way that works. And those fees vary by the number of days. So as you would expect, any type of program, each one of those has different fees associated. The Better Conversations is a 3-day train-up. Lead for Success, being a 2-day program, is a 5-day train-up, as an example.
Thank you. We have reached the end of our time here today. Thank you, Jeff, for showing how organizations can empower their internal training teams by using CCL's scalable leadership development products in-house. Tomorrow, everyone who attended will receive a follow-up email with a link to the webinar recording and additional resources about these products. We hope our attendees enjoyed this session and will join us again for a future webinar. As you exit the webinar, we hope you take a moment to complete the evaluation, and so that we can bring more of these events to you. And anyone who completes the evaluation will be entered to receive a drawing to receive a Direction Alignment Commitment Guidebook. You can also request that a CCL team member follow up with you. Again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, everyone. This actually concludes today's webcast. Thank you all for attending. We will send all registrants an email tomorrow with a link to the recording. And please visit our event calendar to sign up for future webcasts.